Well, we were in Orlando. Was that where we were? We were in Orlando.
No, Tampa.
Tampa. Okay, so Florida, whatever, same thing, same state.
Yeah, same thing.
Same state. And then, because there was a student who had a place that had like assisting living setup, and I'm like, oh. So when I was talking to Hannah, we talked about going in as partners together. And then I was talking to Isabel about, hey, what are some of the things that you need to know about this? So she took me aside and she's like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then I saw her presentation and it was just, honestly, it was fantastic. But one of the things that I learned from her was that based on where the student's place was, it wasn't a good economic area to do it. So it was a good thing because I didn't buy it because otherwise it wouldn't have worked. So it was interesting though.
Can you move the camera that looks at my crouch, please?
So
that's funny.
We're sitting here.
So you don't have me at all.
I know.
No, because my crouch is more important than you.
The crouch is more important. So I'm sitting here trying to fix. I'm trying to fix all the problems we're having online, and literally Debbie's camera is pointed to Omri's crotch. Yeah. So his crouch, is that what you said? Crouch. His crouch.
That's what I said.
So it's very funny.
Your accent. That's why
it's very funny that I'm sitting here trying to fix everything, and that's what came up. Was I didn't even notice that happened. Somehow that happened. So yeah, I will move that camera. I'll put it back on Debbie.
Welcome to the Larry Steinhouse show. we build as we go.
Somebody was just asking me what we talk about. I'm like, I don't know.
We talk about Omri's crouch.
No, we don't. We completely don't.
It's pretty funny. So if you guys are watching online, my apologies. We had a technical problem last week, and I did not fix it because I forgot about it. So if it cuts out again, I'm sorry, but we had to restart the broadcast. Anyway, look, it is what it is. So if you're still watching, please let us know you're still watching because we got problems. Anyway, Omri, why don't you give the phone number one more time?
That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. So I think half of our listeners, I will want to say,
are in that room.
Are in that room right now.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Right, and it's
and they are eating their lunch right now. So I'm curious if somebody is going to call from the other room.
So it's possible that they might. We actually last time we did this right when we did the show.
Yeah.
We did lunch and we had them play the show during lunch. That was kind of fun, but our schedule this week didn't make that happen. We couldn't make that happen this week. So we didn't do it. But anyway, so what's going on, guys? Like, we have so many things that we have happening right now.
I am going to go. What? Did I interrupt you, Larry?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
We're
not used to you.
No, that was the whole point. The whole point was to start a conversation. So go ahead.
All right. So I am super excited. So was it 2 Thursdays ago, Omri and I did a presentation on. So I don't know how I'm getting on some of these lists, but I'm really glad I'm getting on some of these lists. And somebody reached out to me about 2 apartment buildings.
Are you getting them as texts or people calling you?
And remember, originally I thought it was Pottstown, which is only an hour away from here. And I'm like, oh, that'd be good. And I realized they were Pottsville, which is a little bit farther away, but it's also a lot closer to some of my other properties. So, anyway, so 2 Thursdays ago, you and I did a presentation on how to figure out whether the numbers work.
And we analyzed those 2 properties.
And we analyzed the 2 properties, and we realized that the one was an okay deal. The other one was they were asking.
The second one, correct. The first one was not even close.
Was not even close, and they were completely way off the mark. Anyway, so the guy calls me up, I don't know, a couple days ago. I don't even know what day it was.
No, wait. Before that, you need to tell that regardless to what they're asking and the difference between what is a reasonable purchase price according to our law, our rules here, our guidance here in the school, you still made an offer. What is that different? You still called and made an offer.
I still called and made an offer. Well, I said it not so nicely, but when the guy called me up and he said, what do you think? I said, I'll tell you what, because he was getting people to go see it on Friday. And I'm like, let me know if anybody bids. And I said, if nothing happens, give me a call. And he's like, you don't want to go see it? I said, listen, if somebody is silly enough to spend $1.2 million on those 2 buildings, they deserve to lose their money. And he just started laughing. And I said, you know as well as I do that these are overpriced and that your expected returns if you raise the rent are not realistic. And he was very quiet.
Agents that try to sell the property like their kids, and I'm not saying sell on the market, I'm saying sell as a way of try to market them, they come with a lot of ego. and this is not a place to be with a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Your real estate agent.
He's not a real estate agent. I believe he's a wholesaler.
So
He
maybe
works for a
that's the
company.
thing.
Yeah, I believe
he wants to sell.
he wants to sell.
He don't
Of
want
course,
to lease.
he wants to sell.
He don't
He
want
wants to
lease.
make money.
He wants to make
exactly.
money. Sure.
So he's not an agent. That's exactly. I didn't know
Right.
he's not an agent. That's
Yeah,
exactly
I don't
what
think
it
he's
is.
an agent. I'm
His
not.
wholesale fee is probably $100,000 at $1.5 million.
And he don't care.
Yeah,
He
it
wants
was
to
that
make
one-
it happen.
He can make a,
Yeah, well, they want 1.2, and I said if somebody is silly enough to offer you that and
Yeah.
pay it, I said then they deserve to lose their money. And he got quiet, and I said, and I whatever, and he said something to me. He's like, "Well, you sure speak your mind, don't you?" I said, "Well, I don't want to beat around the bush, and I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine." So it was interesting. I said the best I can do for you, I said, is $950. He's like for one, I'm like for both. That's the best my offer is. So if it's not even on the table, good luck, and let me know about the next deal that comes along.
What did you say around the bush?
What?
What did you just said?
Huh?
You just said.
I said nothing about the bush. What are you talking about? Beating around the
she
bush.
was going to say something else, and then she changed. She diverted her thoughts.
She
Beating
said
around the bush.
something around the bush.
Beating around the bush.
Beating around the bush?
Beating around the bush.
I'm
What
so-
did she say?
I don't remember now.
You don't want to be beating around the bush. You just.
I don't want to waste his time.
And then you.
Oh,
change
have
it
you
to
not
another
heard
word.
that expression?
No.
Right.
Oh.
I heard a word and then around the bush.
I don't want to beat around the bush. Yeah.
So what does that mean to you, Omri?
I have no idea. That's why I asked. I'm curious.
The smirk on his face right now.
I know is completely inappropriate.
It's so
Why
obvious.
Completely
we
inappropriate.
always
It's so
get
obvious
to
where he's
those
going.
conversations? I only asked. What was the first? I still don't know. What was the first?
That I didn't
up
want to beat
until-
around the
up
bush.
Until just now.
I never thought about that.
No, but up until just now, I always thought that Omri really didn't know what this stuff meant.
And now are you
But with
wondering?
the smirk
I
on his
still
face right now,
don't
I think he knows exactly what we mean.
Glenn, are you on my side?
Glenn, be careful how you answer that.
I think it's funny that he kind of knows what dirty words mean, but he's totally at a loss when it comes to any expression.
I think you're right. I think that's what it is.
What was the first word?
He's associating some of it dirty and some of it clean because he doesn't know how to associate it.
I'm sorry. I think I recall. I recall a show that I had to explain to you how to fix a window with a caulk gun.
With the,
and
the
she
caulk
didn't-
gun.
and it's not my mind that went another way.
It's because you're not saying cock. You were saying something else.
So if you have
No, I said caulk gun. What's the problem?
if you have a window in the back of the house and it's black, you're supposed to use
No.
black caulk for the back.
So that was
and,
the
and if you have a window for the, and you have a house.
No, it was reversed. It was reversed because you have a
So-
wider gap in the front and a smaller gap in the back. So you use black caulk in the front and white caulk in the back. Don't
So-
you remember that little video?
Yes,
What's wrong
I
with
do.
you?
So the gaps are wider in the back
front.
only if it's black.
No, you use. Oh my goodness!
So you know what's the funny thing about that? She sent us this video.
I know.
I know.
It came from her, and
I know.
she blamed
Right.
us that we only have one thing in our
I thought it was hysterical. That
was
that
very
video was
funny.
hysterical. That
Right.
video was absolutely hysterical.
So anyway, getting back-
continue your around the bush thing,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
tell me later.
Let's stop beating around the bush and get back to your story.
What did you say? Beating?
Beating around the bush. Or
B-I-D-D?
beat around the bush.
BEATING.
Beating.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yes, like
Yeah.
beating. Yes.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
So what does that mean to you?
Now it means something dirtier. So let's let's continue. Listen, this show is getting worse and worse.
Oh my goodness.
Can you please?
Oh my goodness.
Can you please go back to real estate, because apparently you are not talking about real estate.
We were completely talking about real estate. So
This
got your
doesn't
mind in the gutter.
sound like real estate. No. No.
All right. All right.
All right, so if you listen to the show for the first time, yes, this is real, and this is what we do every week.
And this
This
is the
Larry Steinhouse show, and I approve this message.
Exactly. I was about to say, and I'm proud of what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is so putting it in advance, Glenn. This is the show you're going to repeat tomorrow morning.
Yes, this is the repeat.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
the
the
repeat show.
repeat.
Yes.
This
This is
is
the one.
right, exactly.
And
We don't
if-
have our license revoked. We don't have our license.
Wow, we're just talking.
It just might be a signal.
We're just talking about black and white cock.
Yeah,
and we're talking about
bushes,
and we're talking about being around the bush. What's the problem?
Yeah.
And crouch shot.
And crouch.
Crouch.
Exactly.
I don't know if you put all three of those together: the crouch shot, the beating around the bush, and the black and white cock.
They're all focused on one area.
What do you have on your mind right now? Can you imagine somebody driving right now? Wait,
They're banging the stereo.
right. There's two people driving right now. There's one person going, "What did I put on? I'm so used to Dom Giordano, and what's going on now?" And then you got the other guy going, "I love this stuff. I want to hear some more."
He's the guy who pulled over in the parking lot in the corner.
Oh my God!
What's the phone number? What's the phone number they could call if they want to hear more?
That's 855-939-1137.
You got to say it so people can actually hear you.
They heard me.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't hear it.
that's the other thing they missed. They missed before we came on the air. Omri was panting in my ear and
No.
He was chewing in your ear.
So you don't
chewing in my
understand. You
ear
think
and-
about the person that is right now in his car, and Debbie just said stop on the side. I have another problem. Those people will come to investor schooling the coming Thursday. They were wearing leather outfit all the way from the top, and they would come and say, "I want to learn more." And I'm not sure they will reach the right place.
You're saying they already came or they're going to?
No. They came in.
Are you serious? Somebody came in all leather?
wearing all leather, and they say, "Omri, read the phone number."
No, I won't read them the phone number.
And it was two guys.
Exactly.
And
And this already happened?
Exactly, and they would come to Debbie and
This already happened?
No,
I was gonna say, I'm
stop!
so confused. I'm like, what? I'm thinking maybe it happened when I was away. What did I miss? I'm like, oh my God, I have to go.
You
replay
mentioned the two type of people that would hear that right now. So I said that some of them will come to investor schooling.
All right.
And they weren't. Maybe they were thinking that it's a different school.
So
maybe
did you ever read? I know that this is going back before your time, but Howard Stern put out a book. You'll get it in a second. Howard Stern put out a book years and years and years ago. Okay. And in that book, he talks about how there was a listener who was listening to Howard Stern on the radio, and Howard Stern is, clearly very sexual with all his craziness. And the guy was reading I guess he was in the book. He talks about it in the book, how there was a guy who was listening to him on the radio in his car, and he was so turned
aroused?
on. Yeah, he was so aroused that he had to pull over and park and take care of business. That's what he talks about in the book.
Maybe you should continue your story about the two properties.
Well, it got really good until that point.
Yes,
Yeah, all right.
because now it's real.
Now we have to
Go to commercial break.
We have to get somber, and we have to stop beating around the bush, and we have to talk about your story now.
Yes, please do.
I'm so
Look at
down
how their
now.
voices got lower and
I'm so down
softer.
now. It was so much fun a minute ago. I'm so down now.
If you have any
What the hell is wrong? What's wrong with
questions
you?
regarding
What are
real
you talking
estate,
about?
please call us at 855
Kimmy thinks we're hysterical.
1137. That's 855
Now I'm getting down. Look at you.
939 1137.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, continue the story.
No. Let's do it. Let's do it up now.
Up? That's 855-939-1137.
So you can't talk that close to the microphone because it gets too distorted.
It is distorted?
Yeah.
So that's 855-939-1137.
You can't.
I don't care where he talks. Just pick a spot and stay there.
You're driving the producer crazy, man.
You're not the first person who told me that. 855.
Whoa! Now we're back to this, huh?
1137. Okay.
I don't even know where to go with that.
All I know is that spot's really hard to find.
What are you talking? No.
What are you talking about?
What's going on the show today?
I was going somewhere else, and you clearly went in a different direction. Okay.
It's like my mind is so blinded. I need to read the curriculum of what we are doing to understand how to go from here.
It's so funny.
And yes, this is a financial show.
Yes, it is.
It's a financial show.
That's what controls the world.
So back to my story.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
back to your story.
Back to my story. So I was talking to this guy about the 2 apartment buildings. And remember, we did it in class 2 weeks ago. We talked about the numbers. And we, I think they wanted 1.2 for both. So it's 2 apartment buildings for a total of 15 units. And one of them,
back on Monday.
Can I finish with my story?
Yes.
Okay. One of the apartment buildings was completely rented out, and the other one had 7 units in it, and 5 were empty. Okay. And when we look at the pictures, you could see that they all needed new kitchens. Some of the bathrooms needed to be fixed up. So it would need a little bit of work. And like I said, out of the 7, only 2 of them were rented. What was that?
I have no idea. Is it is it
Did you
him?
hear it? Did you
is
hear
it him
that?
or Glenn? It's him, yeah.
That was actually me. It was an accident. I put the water bottle down on my mouse, and my mouse was on the sound effects. So.
I'm like, dude, what's going on here?
If you ask if we are scripted, no, we are not.
We are completely not scripted. So anyway, I was saying how they were putting together people to go look at the place on Friday. That I think it was last Friday. I don't remember, whatever Friday it was. And the guy called me up. He was like, "Do you want to come and see it?" I said, "You know what? Let me know how you make out. If anybody, if nobody's interested in it, give me a call next week." So that was last week, I guess. And he's like, "You don't want to go and see it?" I said, "For the price that you're asking," I said, it's ridiculous. I said, "But if anybody's willing to pay you that much money for those places," I said, "they deserve to lose their money." So he laughed. And then he's like, "Well, what would you pay?" We were going back and forth for a little bit. And I said, "Those places combined, they're not worth more than $900, $950 max." And he's like, "For both of them?" I said, "Yes, for both of them." And then he says to me, I'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah.
For both of them. He didn't. It's a silly question because none of those property were asked $9 or $950.
Well, I guess he was hopeful.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I think
Come
that
on.
comes out to like $70,000 a unit." And I'm like, whatever. He's like, "You might still be in the ballpark." I'm like, "All right. Well, if nobody bids on them, call me up. Otherwise, I'm not interested." And then he called me up a couple days ago and he said, "Are you still interested?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But I'm not going above $9 or $950. I said, "That's my max." And he said, he's like, "You don't seem to," he's like, "You don't waste time. You just tell me what's on your mind." And I said, "Yeah, because I'm not going to beat around the bush." I said, "I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you to waste my time." I'm like, "But I don't even want to go see them. If the guy's not even interested in that number," I said, "then I don't care. Move on." And anyway, he called me back up. I think it was this Friday. Larry and I were talking about it. And he's like, the seller is interested.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm going to go see it this Wednesday. If you guys are free this Wednesday, I'm going to go see it in the morning.
Never afraid to put an offer.
Yeah,
The worst you can get is
no.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, so I did ask the guy if there was any mortgages on the property, and apparently there's $700,000+ in mortgages,
Ooh.
which is nice, which makes this very attractive.
From when?
Yeah.
I have to go and do a little research on it. But I asked the guy, I said, "Are there mortgages?" And the guy said there's 725 or 750 in mortgages.
Now, there was a red flag when we analyzed this
Well,
deal.
hold on. The other thing, too, is that he's like, "Why are you asking me?" He's like, "Are you thinking about something creative?" And I said, "That's a possibility." And he said, I have sold stuff for the seller in the past, and he is open to creative financing.
Excellent.
So I'm going to
we
go.
may have a really good story next week.
So this may be
it's
very
great.
interesting.
The only thing you need to remember,
Yeah.
when we analyzed this deal, we saw that basically the whole town is for rent. And when we looked at that, we saw that some of the rentals are for a very long time. So if you remember, me and you, we were in Cleveland 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and we understood why the rents are where they are, which is anywhere between $650 to a 1-bedroom to maybe $750, maybe $800 to 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Because
It was a pretty depressed neighborhood.
It's depressed neighborhood, and because of the demand is so low and the inventory is so high.
Right.
It's something that people forgot what happened in those cases. So I think that's the other thing. You need to figure out if there is a demand there.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also why real estate, why those units are empty.
Right.
Are right now vacant.
All right, so hold on a second. I want to go to Mike in South Carolina. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, I just needed to chime in. Great topic. And by
Which
the
one?
way,
Beating around the bush? Beating around the bush, or
yeah, beating around the bush. I've been sitting on the line here a little bit, and so you guys.
I don't know where I want to go with that.
I just wanted to. Yeah. Oh, wait till you hear. Wait till you hear, Doctor. Wait till you hear. Watch the movie.
Keep your button on the dump button.
1984.
What movie?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say anything bad. I promise you. I'm just saying, watch the movie, the original movie, 1984, and what you're talking about, Doctor.
I'm
You
not.
know, the bush, beating around the bush. Okay, so that was it.
We appreciate your
So
call.
I know
love you
the
guys.
book.
I listen to
I
you
know the
every
book,
week.
right? I know the book.
I have your book. What?
Mike, I know I've read the book 1984. I never saw the movie. I read the book, and if I think you're referring to where the couple go behind the bush, is that what you mean?
Yes. No, they didn't go behind the bush. They were in his apartment, and she dropped her pants. And it was like, I did not know
Where is this
that
going?
there was.
I don't know.
I don't know where this
I
is
don't know where it's
going
going either, but
All right.
but you know, are you saying she needed an electric
I told
razor?
you I
Is that what
wouldn't- I
you mean?
wouldn't go
Clippers,
too
maybe,
far.
no?
I will. I'll
What is
push
wrong
my
with
own
you
button, you know.
What?
All right. Anyway, Mike.
Okay.
So
You can't
I'm
use
curious.
a lawnmower.
Wait, hold on.
Listen,
Hold on, guys.
I'm telling you, when you guys go down to Florida, please tell me, and I will meet you. I will buy you guys dinner.
Yes.
At anywhere you want to go.
There
Come,
you
Florence.
we are there
You know,
in
Florence
the.
is right on 95.
We're going to be.
Please tell me.
We're going to be in
July-
Orlando. We're going to be in Orlando, aren't we? Going to be in Orlando.
So actually, Omri and I go on July 6th, 7th, and 8th. Is
Oh,
it?
but you wanna
and
exclude
June
me? I'm half
27
the-
too.
I'm half the
No,
show.
Debbie, quiet. And June 27, we're
No,
there.
yeah, but we don't have time. We don't have time to entertain guests that day. But on
So we are there.
July?
July
is it
7,
7th,
8,
8th,
and 9.
Right. So we're going to be in July 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're going to be at a RIA group. I can't remember where. In Tampa, I think.
And you can come and see our mobile home park.
Yeah, no, Tampa is too far. But no, you are going down I-95,
Well,
right?
no, we
And
take an airplane.
in going. Oh, you're going to fly down. Oh,
Yeah.
all
What do you
right,
think? What do you
okay,
think? What do you
okay.
think we are?
It's like a
4
three-
hours?
it's
But
like a
you and
3-day
Omri-
drive. It's a
Yeah,
3-day
you
No,
and
we did it.
Omri,
We did it once.
The immigrant.
Yes.
Well, sometimes we
Oh,
smuggle him
you
in the
only
trunk.
did it once, and in that special Cadillac. You
A
know,
lot.
Yeah, Latte.
I know. That's why
He
he
knows-
referred
he knows
to.
everything, man.
He
He's pretty good.
remember.
He knows the whole story.
He's a big fan. So yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So I just, if you guys ever drive down, please let me know.
So where
are you?
I will
Yeah, where do you
meet
live?
You on I-95.
Where do
Where
you
do you
live?
live?
North
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
Oh,
Oh,
North Carolina.
I thought you said Florida.
Well,
I thought you said
live
Awesome.
and I'm right across the river from Augusta, Florida. So if you ever go golfing in Augusta, oh my God, yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Do you golf?
You know, not really,
Okay.
but I will. Yeah, so I did.
Where is it going?
I used
Well, I was going to say,
but
if he
I
wants to
don't
pay for us
now
for a
because
round at
I'm-
Augusta,
So
we would certainly play golf with him.
So, Mike, stay on the line, and Glenn will take your contact information, and somebody will reach out.
Yeah.
He will check if you are legit, and we'll
Okay.
continue from there.
Only if he's going to buy us,
Okay.
a round of
All
golf
right.
at Augusta.
Yeah. No, that's got to make sure I'm legit, and I've got, I'll give my credit card number.
No,
and
you
all
don't
that
need to.
jazz.
We don't need a credit card number.
No, we don't need to.
I'm kidding. Oh my God, you are so gullible.
Delightful.
You don't know the half of it, Mike. You don't know the half of it. Well, Mike's like
This is the first call that I'm sure we have fans. Like
Oh yeah, now you know we have fans, right?
now
Exactly.
this is a real
Right.
fan.
I think we actually went from 7
No,
listeners to
I've told
30.
You guys
Yeah,
a
it
couple
could
times.
be.
I have your book. The book is amazing.
Well, thank you, man. What's your
It's
favorite chapter in the book?
Amazing. What?
What's your favorite chapter in the book?
Sorry.
What is your favorite chapter in the book?
Chapter 9. I don't know.
Well, what's it? What's
I
your
can't
favorite
remember
thing?
offhand. It's
No.
been a while.
What did you get out of the book that you thought was amazing?
What people will do when they sell a house. How to buy. How to buy real estate, and I sell hearing aids.
What?
And so it is amazing to know what people want out of something.
Sure.
And it's you just got to ask the questions ahead of time, and then it's a cakewalk from there.
So I don't even know if I talk about that in the book. I can't remember. But I'll tell you what, anybody else out there who wants a copy of the book, I'll send you a digital copy right now. Just send the word hacks, H-A-C-K-S, hacks, H-A-C-K-S, to 26786 is the phone number. 26786. Take out your cell phone.
Text
hacks, H-A-C-K-S, to 26786, and you will get a free copy of my book, Money Hacks. Thanks for the lead-in, Mike.
Yeah, do it, guys.
That made me
please.
easy.
That is it's amazing. First of all, I remember teaching somebody, and he said, I taught a lot of people how to sell hearing aids, and not everybody can learn.
Well, Mike, we actually, Mike,
tough.
I got to cut you off because we got to move on to a commercial. But I so appreciate you as a listener, and we will talk to you again. And anybody else, if you want a copy of the book, Money Hacks is the name of the book. You text the word hacks, H-A-C-K-S, to 26786, and with that, we'll see you guys in about 2 minutes. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor School.
All right, you are on.
Did you know that there are so many different ways to prepare
Would
for
you
retirement,
like me to take,
and annuities
would you like me to take
are
his
not
info?
the answer. Come learn
Yeah,
this
okay.
Thursday by
For what?
taking
Just
a
'cause
free
you
class
said you would.
on Investor
Okay.
Schooling. Come to Investor Schooling,
I'll just take his
and you
number.
will learn so many different ways that you can make more money in retirement.
And you'll
than
have
you
another caller when you come back.
expected to.
I
Go to
was going to send you the info, but
investorschooling.com and
it's
sign up
Greg
for
in
complimentary
Lansdale.
classes Thursday.
Okay.
That's
Good.
investorschooling.com.
So
That's
I want to go over
investorschooling.com.
what you
We'll
think
see you
we
there.
should be looking at, or I should be looking at, to see what's in the area, to see if it's a good rental area.
Yeah, I want to continue the story because it's a very good
Listen,
story.
you need
Don't
to
forget
take a
we're still on
complimentary
Facebook
class.
and-
You need to
No,
learn
no,
how to
I
invest
know.
in real
I'm
estate.
just
You
saying.
need to learn how to invest in the stock market. You need to learn how to invest in stock options.
See,
And you need
when
to
we hear
learn how
all
to
this,
make more money than
static.
you've ever made before. Why aren't you here? Come to investorschooling.com.
Glenn?
Take a complimentary class this Thursday and learn.
You're hearing static?
Yeah, we're hearing, we're hearing
Do you
static.
get that too?
Take your complimentary
Hang on.
class this Thursday. We'll see you there.
It's like a really
This is
fast
Larry Steinhouse
ticket.
with Investor Schooling. Listen, I
We're gonna
can't
have to
tell you
switch to the other
everything we
Let
do
me
in
see what's
30
going on.
seconds. So you need
No, but the first thing is,
this
do you
Thursday
hear
night,
that or not?
And you need to learn
Because if it's only in our headphones,
Correct.
it's not such
I
a
don't
big
hear
problem.
it.
It's the camera. Ever made before. All right, I'm going to That's switch right. We'll lines, so teach you keep us in ways that you commercial. never All right. even heard of to make money. So go I'm to gonna go to 5. investorschooling.com and sign up for this Thursday night's class. Take your complimentary class this Thursday. That's investorschooling.com. We'll see you there. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. There's something wrong with
Is that
6. Yeah, it's fine.
Don't want to
Something wrong
invest in
with
real
6. I don't
estate
know what it is.
because you don't want to deal with
There's usually something wrong with 5.
Okay, well, whatever it
toilets,
is.
trash, or tenants, or even own.
There's something wrong with everybody.
Kimmy heard
Something
it
wrong
too.
with all you guys.
Kimmy heard the static also. So
Go to
I know.
investorschooling.com.
We hear it, they hear it.
That's investorschooling.com.
What can we do
and take
without
a complimentary
Kimmy? Come on.
class this Thursday, and
I couldn't hear it on this end.
Yeah, I know. It's something transmits back from you guys.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that we have a radio show right here on WPHT?
All right, do you want another 30
No, we're good.
after this one?
We're good.
Or
We're
are you
good.
ready to come back?
Yeah, we're good.
Because it's a live show and you can call in. In fact, here's the call-in number.
855-939-1137.
And when you call in, you can ask us questions about real estate, the stock market, even politics. Make sure you tune in Saturday, 1 o'clock. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
You're hot.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Larry Steinhouse Show. We are here having a great time. I'm here with Dr. Deb Anderson and Omri Morad, my amazing co-host and my best friends, as everybody knows. If you guys don't know, we really are best friends. We actually just hang out together. And the funniest thing is, and Glenn can attest this because Glenn has hung out with us, that the show that you're listening to is our life. It's like we go out to dinner and we go out to lunch. We, wherever we go, we actually, this is exactly our show, right, Glenn? Yeah. Did you have a good time when we took you out for lunch and we did exactly the show?
It was amazing.
I'm sorry.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same people.
He don't need to testify. He basically filmed
he doesn't
us.
know what to say. He's like,
yeah, he filmed
do I
us.
have to say this?
No, he filmed us.
He
Remember,
basically
filmed
during
us.
the lunch he filmed us
for like a minute
and put it in YouTube.
I know,
you saw
he did.
that?
He put it,
Yeah.
That's right.
I know, it's
right.
funny.
I can't remember what we were talking about either, which was
We
hysterical.
were talking about sex and Omri in the shower.
I didn't talk. Oh my God!
Yes.
Nobody.
Right.
If you believe that,
We
you
were
can
talking
call
about
it
taking a shower with your
855.
wife. That's right.
Yes, we're talking about
No.
taking
Right.
a shower with your wife.
I
Well, not us
said-
taking a shower with your wife. You taking a shower with your wife.
So let's go back to the subject. And the subject is that if you do a shower with 2 shower heads, you need to do separate diverter to each shower head because women's shower in much hotter water than men's. And again, it's you thinking about bad things all the time.
Dude, I have a concern, man, because I have 3 diverters and 3 shower heads in my shower. So what does that mean?
Are you waiting for an extra person to come and join?
Exactly. I was about to. No.
To come and join?
No. For a second, and I said I was about to say, Larry, this is pushing it, man. You always talk about us, the trio, and I said you put 3 diverters. No.
So I'm very concerned that the expression you gave me when I said that. So why don't we stop beating around the bush and go to
yes,
Greg and Lansdale? What's going on, Greg?
Hi, guys. I'm listening to my favorite comedy show, man.
yeah.
The Hoarder Houses. That was freaking hysterical.
The whorehouse.
The whorehouse. The hua house. The hua house. The hua
The
house.
funny part about it is you're a financial show, and probably 10 minutes out of the whole show you talk about finances, and the rest it's everything under the sun.
Everything
I
is
know.
financial.
My younger brother,
I know.
But everything's financial,
my
right?
younger brother. My younger brother was going, "What we listen to?" I said, "I'm listening to a comedy show." He was on his way out the door.
I know. It's funny. It's like, what happened? It was like, and we were talking about this today because we're doing our Money Hacks event today. So we have like 70 people in our office right now all learning stuff while we're doing the show. So we actually handed it over to somebody else for the 2 hours that we did the show. And the funny part was we talked about that. We talked about the fact that many, many years ago, we started off the show with me and my old partner. We started off the show. And it used to be like only finances. We talked about real estate. We talked about stock options. And after a while, it just got boring.
It was.
Yeah.
So,
It was
when I introduced my new co-host, Dr. Deb, and then Omri came along, it got boring to talk about only finances.
Yeah.
So we figured, you know what? Let's just have fun. So that's what we do now. We have fun, and we talk about finances. Some people like yourself call in and ask questions, and we answer their questions. Hey, do you have any good questions for us about finances that you want to know?
I'll be honest with you. No, I just enjoy listening to you.
All right, cool. Well, you're in Lansdale, man. Why don't you come visit us? You're not far.
I'm the blind guy.
Oh, you're the blind guy.
There's no way for me to get there.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I know.
For me, that's the reason why I don't ask for a book because I couldn't read it.
Listen,
So,
never.
we have it on audiobook now. Actually,
Yeah, Audible.
I don't have a computer either.
You have a phone though, don't you? What kind of phone do you have?
The one I'm talking to right now.
Yeah.
This is a hard line.
Oh,
A home
okay.
phone.
It's
It's not a cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to find.
Okay. Like I said, I enjoy listening to you. I listen to you on Saturdays. Remember, I listen to you for both hours.
I
That's awesome,
am.
man.
Listen, yeah, exactly.
You're great.
You have no idea what it means to me, at least, and I'm pretty sure to everybody here.
I want to invite you into the
Like
studio.
I said, I enjoy listening to you. Like I said, I mean, to me, it's almost like sometimes it's a comedy show.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I want to
happy.
invite you into the studio so you could be with us. Oh, you can't make it. Never mind.
You
What
warmed
a not nice thing to do. What is wrong with you?
You warmed my heart,
Greg,
very much.
That was so not cool. of
That was
you.
like with Kashim today when I asked him to stand up.
Yeah, that was just like, what is wrong with you?
So we
What?
You didn't hear what
You
happened?
didn't see
Tasheen?
that?
Tasheen,
So
I asked him-
Tasheen is on like
there's a
crazy crutches. The man can barely walk.
the guy
He could barely
yeah, right.
walk. And Larry's like, "Hey, Tasheen, stand up." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?" Like it was just like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" And
Yeah, that's-
Tasheen stands up as best as he
But
can.
everyone laughed, including Tashim, and everyone laughed, including Greg.
So,
and the 3 people who were really mad at me aren't going to come see me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
so
This was so weird.
that's who he is.
So weird. He's so
We
weird.
need to understand that.
This is it, right? The 800-pound gorilla in the room, right? Is Greg is blind, or Tashim is, he's got
Handicapped.
He's
by the way, he's got
handicapped.
cerebral palsy, so
Okay.
his legs barely do anything, right? It's amazing that he can hold himself up even with the thing. But the point was, instead of like ignoring it, I have a little bit of fun with it, and it makes everybody laugh. Makes some people uncomfortable, but it certainly makes people laugh, right? Right, Greg. Hey, Greg.
Does he have a good attitude?
See, you know what Greg
Does
thinks?
he have a good attitude, this person?
Yeah.
Oh,
he,
yeah,
He
great
took
attitude,
it
right.
a good
So-
stride.
There's nothing I can do about it because I had sight when I was younger, but I have RP and I've lost it over the years.
Yeah.
But I have to deal with whatever I was dealt the cards. That's what I got to deal with.
Yeah.
So
But I'm really lucky because to me, I'm the best looking person you've ever seen.
Anyway.
Maybe it's the other way. Maybe it's Dr. Deb's the best looking person I've ever seen.
Well,
hands down.
Well, Dr. Deb is the best looking woman in the room.
Shut up. The only woman in the room. Thank you very much. As far as I know, anyway, right? So, whatever.
As far as you know.
Well, maybe you and Omri.
So of course she has to be the best.
Maybe you and Omri have like transitioned or something that I just don't know about.
You know, it is true that you ever notice that the women who transition to men, they always have beards and mustaches.
Yeah, they take drugs for that.
Right. So they always have beards and mustaches to show off the fact that they are now a man, right?
Yeah, I never get
and
that.
look at Army's beard. It looks like all of those.
No, but
it looks like what?
He looks like all the women who take.
What do you refer to? You want me to take my pants and show that I'm a real man?
No, his voice gives it away that he's a real man.
Yeah.
No, they do something with the voice too.
So give me your voice right now with the phone number.
That's 855-939-1137. 855-939.
That's a little freaky.
1137. And the weather will be.
All right. Anyway, all right. So,
listen,
go ahead, Greg.
As many times as he did that phone number, I actually dialed the wrong phone number the first time. I did 393 instead of 939.
Yeah, but
who answered you?
Yeah, but you can't see your keyboard, sir. We can accept that from you.
Oh,
you can't
I know how to do. I know where the buttons are.
Okay.
5 has a dot on it, and I go back and forth from them.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, cool.
Yep.
All right.
Thank
You
you
guys
so
have a
much.
good one. Like I said, I enjoyed talking with you, and I enjoyed the comedy.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for having us.
We'll
Yeah,
get to some more in a little bit. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Yes.
You are the best. Okay. So,
all right. So before you go there, I just want to go back to what we were talking about. The deal. Just because Omri was saying,
hold on 1 second. Lucas is online saying, "Nice job, Lucas. We haven't seen you in a long time, man. Where you been? Come to class. We have to beat you up like we did Glenn last week to tell you to come to class, Lucas. I'm looking forward to seeing you in class this week, so you better be in class. Go ahead, Deb. Tell the story."
All right, so I wanted to go back real quick about those 2 apartment buildings and the area, because Omri was saying, don't forget that you need to look at the area to see what the rental status is like.
Correct.
So talk to us, Omri, a little bit about what that involves.
So I always research the area before I rent a unit that I already own or before I buy a rental unit, just to see what is for rent and to run comps on rentals the same way we do on purchases, on regular sales. Now we need to remember that if we look in an area and we see tons of rentals, and if we go to those listings and we see that those listings are on the market for maybe 30 days, 60 days, we need to ask ourselves,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Why are those rentals
There wasn't the noise I expected.
market?
There wasn't the noise I was expecting. But go ahead.
What was that?
That was me making sound effects to your conversation, but it was the wrong sound effect.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
So
Yeah,
that's
I know.
the thing.
It was wrong.
You need to see that and you need to ask that. What also I like to do, I call landlord.
Oh.
Before I buy and before I list, I call landlord. Last week, I called the landlord that is renting a bit smaller house than my current renovation in Norristown.
Yeah.
He was so nice, and he told me the key is in the box, in the mailbox. Go see the house.
Okay.
I took my worker with me. We crossed the street and we went to see the house.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing for me because I see for how much he leased the house. I know how much he wants.
Yeah.
I see that his house is vacant with a sign outside for, I don't know, maybe 2 months now.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me homework. And that's what you also need to do.
Okay.
The other thing we talked about is, of course, with the price, never be afraid to put an offer regardless. And one more thing that I want to add with that, to go back to real estate a bit, every newbie real estate investor is getting, is getting so hot over multifamilies.
So I'm not hot.
I want to say something. Wait, I want to say something about
No,
it.
I don't want. I want to say something. I'm not. It's not that I'm hot for.
I'm not saying
multifamily.
about you.
Okay, because I'm not hot for multis.
I know.
I don't really want to go past duplexes because the nightmare that is Monroe has been a nightmare,
Yes.
and I'm not. Multis doesn't turn me on.
Guys, real estate makes sense based on numbers. And it doesn't matter if it's a 1, 2, 3, or 100 unit.
I know,
When
but
you have, one second, when you have multi-units, and it's a big multi-units,
what?
no, nothing. And when you have big multi-units, normally you have a lot of expenses. In old multi-unit families, in old multi-unit family buildings, normally the landlord is paying for the heat, for the water heater, and that's on the landlord, and that's a lot of money.
So I want to say something, and like I said, I'm not hot for multis. I'm really not. Like, I'm fine going up to duplexes and staying with them. You know, I don't know if I really want to do anything past duplexes. But the thing is,
The thing
that this kind of fell into my lap. Just like Monroe kind of fell into my lap, just like that Delaware property fell into my lap. Like, a lot of these properties are literally...
Yeah, that's what's happening now.
Yeah, they're falling into my lap. So
And
for me to ignore it would be
happy
And
about
silly.
also to say something to you, Armin,
Yeah.
the reason you're thinking that all the newbies are going to multifamily is because you and I are hanging around people buying multifamily houses. That's why.
Yeah.
And because of that, our image of the world is everyone is buying multifamily houses.
No, it's here in the school too. People are coming here, they want to be real estate investors. And the one thing they are looking for, how do I find multifamilies?
Well, the idea
And
is...
I don't understand that.
The
I don't know
idea
if it's
is...
that often, but okay.
I think...
Do you remember, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you.
Oh, my Lord!
When we were, when we were in Cleveland, we talked about what we own and what we do. A guy in the room said, I don't want to hear what you do. I don't care. The only thing, you remember this?
Yeah,
He said,
right.
the only thing I care is multifamilies.
Right.
I was amazed with this scenario.
Well,
Yeah, but it's
you're
silly
amazed at
because-
his short-sightedness.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
It's not
incredibly
only him.
short-sighted.
I saw it
So-
before.
but you need to understand that we were in a room with a mentor, actually a mentor peer of mine. We actually mentor each other, and that guy is only buying multifamily, like 100 units. He's got 400. I think he's got 600 units now.
600,
something like that,
700, yeah.
So that guy wants him as his mentor. He doesn't want me as his mentor, right?
Correct.
I'm teaching people how to buy houses with absolutely no money, right? I'm being more realistic than that guy's thought process, not the other mentor, but more realistic than this guy's thought process. Because, look, you're not going to go in. The odds are very slim that you're going to wake up one day and go, the very first property I buy is a 250-unit apartment building. It's very unrealistic and very unlikely that that's how you're going to start.
And are you ready for such a thing? Not everybody.
No, right. And the other mentor, he started out by buying single-family houses. He bought condos.
Yeah.
He bought a whole bunch of condos. He made a whole lot of money on them. Then he started buying multifamily houses. This is the typical progression. And it's funny because the typical progression is people either go from buying a whole bunch of single-family houses to buying multifamily houses, or they sell all their single-family houses, they're done, and they start lending money. Those are the two progressions that typically happen. Now, I decided I thought about going to the multifamily progression, and then I realized I just don't want to work that hard. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to I'm going to continue buying the single families and the the small multifamilies,
and the
2, 3, 4,
condos.
5s,
Yeah.
condos. Right? I like those. They're easy to obtain. They're easy to get money for, and it works for everybody. Now it's more, there's less properties under one roof, if you know what I mean. So there's more maintenance in single families.
No, it's the opposite. People don't get it. You have more when you have a tenant that you give them the key and you say, welcome, I'm happy to have you as a tenant, and you don't see them anymore.
Right.
Why? Because they take
I
care of
see
the
that
house.
most of the time with single family.
No, people...
No, this is the single.
No,
I'm
people-
saying with multi, it never works.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
people look
okay.
at multi.
Yeah, I said, multi
no,
is more
people.
maintenance.
Yeah, people look at multi and
Oh, I see
see.
what you're saying. Okay.
People look at multi and say, "Oh, if I get a 10 unit or a 15 unit or a 30 unit or a 50 unit, I'm going to make all this money."
No.
Right.
You don't. That's what I'm saying. Like people.
No,
who
I
like,
tell you what they think.
No,
Because
I disagree. I think they say, "Hey,
Right.
I'm going to have a 50 unit building or even a 10 unit. I'm going to make all this money
Right.
on it," and they're not thinking about
Because
all
50 unit apartment building,
And they're not thinking-
$1,000 a month rent is $50,000 a month.
Yeah,
Correct.
I'll
But
be
they
rich.
don't understand that they have to pay mortgage on that.
Of
they
course.
have to pay
Yeah, there's a lot more
utilities and-
expenses. There's a lot
high
more
taxes,
expenses.
high insurance.
So that's why I said they're being unrealistic. Now,
Yeah.
there's a lot of great reasons. You buy a 50 unit apartment building for $1.5 million, and then 10 years from now you sell that multi-unit apartment building for $4 million. That's a grand slam. But let me do this. We only got a few more minutes, and we got John waiting in New Jersey. What's going on, John?
Hey, how are you today?
Good, man.
I just want to know, I'm going to switch gears here a little away from real estate.
Good.
Have you ever, or what's your take on investing in structured settlements?
Okay, so when you say investing in structured settlements, maybe I need more of an explanation of what you're asking me. What do you mean by investing in structured settlements?
Well, the companies out there that if you have a structured settlement, they buy you out.
Okay, so you have a structured
just like
settlement? Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
So you're talking about somebody like somebody who
I see the commercials on TV, and I'm just wondering, have you done it before? I don't know a whole lot about it, so that's why I'm asking you if you ever did it or have any take on it. You know, so
okay. So here's
me too. Maybe we should explain what it is first.
Yeah, let me explain what it is. So here's how it works. So let's say somebody, I don't know, they maybe they got a lawsuit, or maybe they left a company and the company said, hey, listen, we're going to give you $1,000 a month for 30 years. And then somebody says, hey, $1,000 a month is great, and the company's agreed to that. But somebody says, so I don't know, $1,000 a month over 30 years is $360,000. Is that right? So $360,000 is what you're going to collect over the next 30 years. But I don't want $360,000 over 30 years. I'm willing to take $200,000 right now. So you sell the payment to somebody else who gives you a check for $200,000. So basically now you basically sign a contract that says that payment for the $1,000 a month that you used to get now goes to somebody else, and that person gave you a check for. And the example I'm using is $200,000. The math that they use, I don't know what it is. I'm just using it as an example so you understand it. The numbers may be different. In many cases, matter of fact, I would imagine over 30 years it'll be a lot less than $200,000. It'll probably be somewhere near $120,000.
So where the money is coming from?
What do you mean?
From the settlement.
So the person who promised them, who pledged them $1,000 a month for the next 30 years, that's guaranteed money. And the person before they buy that settlement, before they buy that structured settlement, they know that money's going to come and it's not going to go away. Yeah. It could be from a bank, it could be from an insurance company. It's basically buying a structured settlement is reversing an annuity, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So you're basically reversing an annuity. You're saying, okay, you're supposed to get $1,000 a month. I'm going to give you $120,000 up front. Now, my personal opinion is, look, those companies are in business to make money, so understand they're not going to give you a lot of money for your money. Yeah. But my personal opinion is if you're getting $1,000 a month from somebody in a structured settlement, keep the $1,000 a month. It's bonus money. It's gift. It's a present every month. And now learn how to make money elsewhere so you can make money and make a lot of money and still have that $1,000 a month coming. I wouldn't do it.
So if we talk about $200,000,
some people have to.
If we talk about $200,000 settlement,
right? It won't even be that high. It'll be closer to $120,000.
And that will give you $1,000 for how long?
No. If you were getting $1,000 a month, you say, hey, Larry, listen, I'm going to get $1,000 a month for the next 360 months, and I don't really want $1,000 a month. I want you to give me a sum right now that will buy me out of my $1,000 a month. So I hand you a check for, and I'm telling you, it's going to be about $120,000. I'm going to hand you a check for $120,000. You're going to write that $1,000 a month that you used to get. We're going to write to that company, and you're going to sign that $1,000 a month to me. So now I get the $1,000 a month every month. You get your $120,000 right now, and you get nothing anymore. That's what buying a structured settlement is, and there's a lot of companies out there that do it.
It's a long time.
They're not bad. They're not. I mean, it's not a bad business. It's actually, it's like I said, it's a reverse mortgage. Not even reverse mortgage. It's almost like buying a mortgage. It's a reverse. It's a reverse annuity, is what it is. All right, John. We appreciate you, man. Hey, what do you think of the show?
I'm on it every week. So
awesome. Thank you.
You guys are great. I appreciate you taking my call. All right.
Hey, I appreciate you calling. Call anytime, my friend. All right, so guys, so we have the Money Hacks event going on right now, which is kind of cool. We have Thursday night class coming up this Thursday. We had a great class the other day, how to analyze stock options. Wow, that was just off the wall. That was such a great class. Somebody, I actually went in. I was tired. I hadn't done a class in a while, and I had been traveling so much that I didn't prepare for Thursday. So I asked somebody to give me a topic, and I went off on that topic, and I explained how to buy a stock option and make sure that you don't lose money in the stock option. And it was an amazing class. I mean, we had people like, wow, I'm so glad that you did this, because it really explained the stock options. It really explains what's going on.
To analyze the graphs.
Yeah, looking at the charts, I thought it was good. It was a really good class. And of course what we do is we're teaching stock options, we're teaching real estate. Now look,
We're teaching ways that you can make a lot of money. So if you want to, you should go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. I want to thank all the listeners for listening today. You guys are awesome. I want to thank Dr. Deb for being here, of course, and Omri for being here. You guys make the show. If it wasn't for you, the Larry Steinhouse show would be just me droning on all hours. So I'm so glad you guys are here. Of course, I want to thank the Sweet.
We didn't mention him.
Just say real quick. Say Sweet. Glenn Page. And if you want to go to investorschooling.com, you can take a class this Thursday. That's investorschooling.com.
You're clear.
Thank you. All right, hold on, everybody. We got another hour coming.
This program is paid for by Investor
That was
Schooling.
fun.
All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey. This program is paid for by Investor
That was
Schooling.
fun.
All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
OGL HD3 Philadelphia. OGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios. Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Stop buying gold online. Edelman's Coins is the Philadelphia area's largest buyer and seller of gold and
All right.
family owned.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Coins has continued to provide ultra competitive pricing paired with unparalleled customer service. Always get a fair deal.
I'd like to know why, like, every expression Dr. Deb uses is just laced with double entendres.
I know, it's amazing.
What are you talking about?
Come on, Debbie.
I think he
Come
does it
on.
on purpose.
After beating around the bush, you said,
It's
"Dropped
like
in
you're
my
giving me
lap
the ball.
about
It's like you're
50
not.
Tomorrow's expansion.
Stop.
I am not using
Like your
double
business credit
entendre,
card?
slang, and you guys
I
are
know,
taking
I
it
know,
to
I
some
know.
other level.
I thought it was funny that you said, like, dropped in my for Omri to
I
say
know, I
something.
I didn't realize I was saying it. Isn't that funny?
Exactly. You don't even realize what you're doing to poor Omri.
And credit
So-
card minimum
You're making
payment.
his Croach work.
With credit card debt reaching all-time highs,
should
National
have been
Debt
the
Relief is
opposite. You should
notifying
do the
consumers about
conversation, and then you should
significant
zoom
debt
into my
relief options
crowd.
currently being made available
Yeah.
to help those
Should be
with
the other way around.
overwhelming
It's
credit
Croach.
card debt.
It's Croach.
These options may
Crouch.
reduce a large
Crouch.
portion of credit
Crouch.
card
It's
debt.
Crouch.
Crochet.
Good.
You don't need to
Crouch.
declare
Crouch.
bankruptcy or take out a
Wow.
All right, 30 seconds.
All right.
He
even
took
if
all
you
the
have bad
radiators
credit.
out.
National Debt Relief
What?
has already
He
reduced
took all
the
the
credit card debt
radiators
for
out.
more than 550,000 consumers.
He took all the radiators
if you owe
out.
$10,
Why?
$20, or even
I don't know. Why
$100,000
would
in
you
credit
take all the
card debt,
radiators
you
out?
can
Why did
now
you
take
tell him?
advantage of this
I
financial
didn't say
debt
anything
relief as
about
the
taking
cost of
radiators
living
out.
continues to skyrocket.
Tell him to put them
to
back
check what debt
immediately.
reduction you may qualify
That's
for.
not
207
That's
40.
a very
we
big
go.
problem.
Once
Okay,
again,
all right, let's get back
that's
to stuff.
800-207-4545.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
It's
All
another
opinions or
mistake.
statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPH.
WPHT HD, WOGL HD. From the Piazza Auto Group Studio. 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Larry Steinhouse Show. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and joining me today is the ever-entertaining Omri Morad, bringing his Israeli charm and humor to the airwaves, and, of course, the brilliant Dr. Deb, always the smartest person in the room, who's ready to offer her thoughtful insights to keep us all on track. Can we move on? Today's show is going to be a great one. We're diving into the latest hot topics, including the economy, politics, and what's going on in the world of finance. We will break it all down for you, from the big headlines to the stuff that impact you directly. And as always, we have plenty off-the-wall banter and shocking commentary. We wouldn't have it any other way. But that's not all. Today, we're also broadcasting live from the Investor Schooling headquarters, where we are empowering people to learn how to invest in real estate, stocks, build wealth, and whether you're just starting out or whether you've been investing for years, Investor Schooling has the tools for you to grow your financial future. And of course, we want to hear from you. The number to call is
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137.
All right. If you've got questions, comments, or just want to share your thoughts, we're here to take your call. And the number once again,
855-939-1137. Please call 855-939-1137.
all right, so sit back, relax, and get ready for an afternoon filled with lively discussion, financial tips, and good sense of humor. This is the Larry Steinhouse Show, and we're about to dive into another engaging hour. Let's get started.
Yeah.
So Deb's freaking out right now.
Okay, so I'm freaking out right now because
it's live. This is actually live.
It's a live freaking out.
It's a live.
It's a live freak out. So I bought this property in Delaware, and we have this guy doing all the demo, and for some reason, he took all the radiators out of the place, which I planned on using. So now they are all sitting in his truck, and he took out all the plumbing that related to it.
Oh no.
He's showing me pictures of all the plumbing and all the radiators.
So the funny thing, he called me on Thursday and he said, the heater and the oil tank are extra. And I said, we are not removing them yet. Don't touch them.
I said just the oil tank.
No, you told him to move the oil tank?
Yeah, we said to remove the oil tank, and that was it.
No, we said that.
Yeah, we said to remove the oil tank, and that was it.
No, we said that. And that's also related to real estate. But we said that we want to let it drain. We want to finish the oil that is there, burn it. And after you burn it, you can do the conversion to gas or replace the heater. But if you have a system that works on oil tank, burn it. Why? Because what's going on right now is that if you put it in buckets and try to dump it somewhere, nobody will take it.
No, you can't dump it. As a matter of fact, that's a environmental.
It's illegal, I know. And
did he take the oil tank?
I think he took the oil tank and he took.
Was it empty?
No, there was like a quarter tank there. It's okay if he took it. The problem is,
what's he gonna do with it?
With the oil?
You have to cut those tanks into pieces.
Yeah, you cut them.
So how did he cut it into pieces? What did he do with the oil?
With a grinder.
But what did he do with the oil?
I have no idea. It's a good question. I told him don't touch the oil tank because he called me. He said this is an extra, and I said you don't touch the heater right now. We don't move the heater. You don't touch the heater until we figure out what to do, because the idea first was mini splits, and then we change it back to leave the heater, go forward, and stay with what we have right now, heating wise.
No, it was to replace it with a gas heater and not an oil heater.
That's fine. You still need radiators.
Right, I still need radiators. So why would he take out all these radiators?
It's a very good
question.
So
you have a problem. So now, let's talk about this live on the air, because this is lively happening at the moment.
Oh my God, this is going to cost me a fortune.
Of course, it's going to cost you a fortune. So this is how we need to. So the first thing you need to do is you need to tell him to take those radiators back off the truck and put them in the house.
The way they were, as much as he can.
No, he can't. He can't install them.
No,
he cut them out with a knife. He cut them out with a
saw.
With a saw, right?
That's fine.
But the radiators are expensive. So
no.
Put them back in the house. That's the first thing.
With the covers, they had beautiful, beautiful covers from the 40s or 30s around them. The tin covers that has the texture in them. Amazing covers. With the covers, put them back where they were. With the covers. To repipe them, we can figure out later. But first, the radiator needs to be inside the house so they won't get to the dumpster.
Right, exactly.
That's the first thing.
That's the first thing I do. I mean, this is a nightmare.
The heater, we made.
Did you pay him yet?
No,
not for today. No.
So good. So you're gonna say, hey, listen, I'm gonna send you a bill, but don't say it now. Tomorrow, you're gonna say, hey, listen. When he wants to get paid, you say, no problem. I will deduct it from whatever it costs for me to put these radiators back in. And I guarantee you he's going to owe you money, and he's not going to pay you, but he's going to owe you money. So make sure he understands it. But don't tell him now, because if you tell him now, he's not going to put those radiators back in the house. So put the radiators back in the house right now.
Get this, his 98% of the jobs I've taken the radiators out. Omri would never reuse radiators, and I've done a ton of jobs for Omri. So my response is,
how is it relevant right now?
That's what I said. I said, I'm not Omri. I said, put them in the house with the covers.
So he's been told not to use it. The problem is, there's the term here in America that you say, you get what you paid for. And we use sometimes people that...
This is Eric?
Yes.
This is Eric.
Eric's really good. I mean, it's a miscommunication.
He is, but he's on...
It's a miscommunication.
So he's on the extreme.
Right. And
he's on the extreme. He did a house for me last week. or
Right.
2 weeks ago. You know what he did?
Okay,
When he
can we-
removed the kitchen, he cut all the plumbing in the kitchen.
Okay.
All right,
So
well,
he cut all the this is him calling me now. He cut all the plumbing in the kitchen. Now, honestly, what he did, believe it or not, he came to the house and he repiped the kitchen.
He can't repipe those radiators.
No, I understand, but
I
I'm
wouldn't
telling
trust
you,
him to repipe
I
those.
told
Those
him,
are-
I told
those
him.
are high pressure.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not steam.
Oh, it's water?
water. But the point is, he came and he fixed it. Why I'm mentioning that? Because I agree with you that you don't pay the last payment until you figure out what needs to be done.
Right.
And you need to know that sometimes, and that's lesson for all of us, sometimes, I did it before, when you work with the low-paying contractor, you need to be there with them.
Well,
Sometimes.
in this case, I wouldn't have been there with. He's done work for me, and I've never been there with him.
I know. For me too.
Never. So this is a miscommunication.
Yeah.
It's a major problem, but it's a miscommunication where he thought the radiators need to be replaced. Look, you could take you could take the call outside if you want to, or you could take the call on the air, but you got to tell him immediately that we're on the air.
No, I don't want to do that for
Okay,
him.
okay, that's
Okay. First of all, he was good to us for years.
Yeah,
He
listen.
did a lot to us. This is an honest mistake.
Of course, it's an honest
yeah, but
mistake.
it's an honest
the
mistake that's going to
problem-
cost me a
the-
lot of
Okay,
money.
No,
so
wait.
We have to solve that problem next.
Exactly. The
But
problem
the
is
first thing you got to do is put the.
Look at this. It's all the piping. He took all the piping out.
Oh no!
He took all the piping out
you know why?
because he's an idiot.
No, you know why? So
He took all
many
the piping
contractors
out. Oh my goodness.
pay. Wait, stop. Many contractors pay their employees. Some of them illegal, I must say.
I know, but okay.
They
so-
pay them with the scrap metal.
No, we know that. I already figured that out. That's not hard to understand.
Yeah.
But the problem now is she needs to have all this stuff put back together.
So first,
So immediately you have to have it all put back in the house.
yes, correct.
Take it all off the truck, put it back in the house. Mm-hmm. Immediately.
And
Because
before
you
including
can't
the
lose that
piping,
stuff.
including
No,
the
the
piping.
Include the
piping-
piping, yes.
the piping will be redone. It doesn't matter.
No, but put the piping in the house too because you don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter at this point, does it?
you will put new pipes anyway.
Ay,
But
ay, ay.
first
That's a problem.
put the radiators because those radiators are extremely hard to find.
Yes.
And the other problem is those covers for the radiators that are so beautiful. I love old houses. You can't find them anywhere. The radiators and the cover back in the house exactly where they were. And after that, we'll figure out what we are doing.
All right. Now,
Yes.
I just want to talk about how Debbie feels right now because this is a common problem with real estate investing.
Correct.
Right? Something like this happened. Debbie's day is ruined for today.
It's
ruined for
frustrating.
tomorrow.
No, it's not
ruined for
ruined.
the next 3 days, and she's going to be, in a moany mood for the next 3 days. It's the way it is. I mean, I would be too. I'm bringing this up for the audience, okay? Just not just you, and this happens. These are things that happen, right? Now, because these things happen, you have to really go back and into your soul and go, look, it happened. I'm going to have to solve the problem. You're going to solve the problem. It's going to cost you probably $5,000 to fix this problem, and you have to deal with it.
The question is, how do you make it affect you the least? And this is something, okay, and I'm not trying to build your
No, I
ego
know.
here.
I know.
This is something that you are mastering.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a master at it.
Yes, you are.
I'm
Yes,
not a
you
master
are.
'cause-
And the problem is, I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
When I have a problem, and it's a problem that affect the tenant, this is not doesn't affect the tenant, affect the tenant, and I have problem dealing with it, it affects me very much.
Okay, so I'm going to lend you in on a secret. It affects me more than you think it affects me.
But it doesn't show.
It doesn't show. Now,
I got you.
Now, I also do something else. I take 2 or 3 days to process things. So if this happened to me, I would be extremely upset as you are at the moment. Within 10 minutes, I'm done processing it, okay? I know it's a problem. I know I have to deal with it. I can't deal. There's nothing. So here's my thought process right now, okay? There's nothing you could do about this right now, Debbie. Nothing. The only thing you got to do is get those radiators off the truck so he doesn't throw them away.
I agree with him, and it doesn't affect anybody right now, right?
But hold on. Let me. Can I finish?
Yes, sorry.
Because I'm doing the coaching moment here, right?
Do it.
There's nothing you can do, and it stinks. It's just one of those things that just stinks. It's you've had a bunch of them with the Monroe property while you were going through it, and what happened? Weeks later, it didn't matter anymore, and weeks later, this won't matter anymore. But you have to fix whatever you can fix right now. The only thing you can fix right now is get the radiators off the truck, put them back in the house.
Yes.
Now you may or may not use them. Maybe like, okay, he did this. Maybe we'll put baseboard heating in now. Maybe we'll do something else now because we have to do something anyway. But you don't have choices if you throw away the radiators. So you want to keep the radiators. You want him to keep the radiators in the house. So he keeps the radiators in the house until you decide what you want to do.
Until we evaluate the situation,
right,
basically.
Right. And then you can't reevaluate the situation right now anyway. You're busy today. We have the Money Hacks event. You're not going to drive there today. And on a Saturday, even if you were sitting home doing nothing, today's not the day to solve the problem anyway. You got to get a plumber out there and you got to say, okay, look, what are my choices here? My choices are now put these radiators back in, or put in baseboard, maybe radiator baseboard heating with a new heater. In the end, it's all going to work out. In the end, it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be a really nice house. But maybe now's the time to reevaluate the whole heating system. You know, maybe you put in, we talked about putting an air conditioner in there before. Maybe you put an air conditioning system in there and you run vents in the walls. Are you stripping the walls down to the studs?
They are.
They're already stripped down.
Oh, so this might have turned into a positive. So I'll tell you what I would do now. Now, especially with this.
You will run ducts.
I will now run ducts.
Yeah.
And put a heating and air conditioning unit in that house. Because it's not going to cost you any more money than what it's, in other words, now that you have to upgrade anyway, you have to redo all these pipes and redo these radiators anyway. It's I'm going to guess it's going to be $3,000 to $5,000 to put that all back together. Okay, and look, it's a shame that you can't go after Eric and say, all right, I want $3,000 or $5,000 because it's going to cost me $3,000 or $5,000 to figure. You just can't do it. You know, if he's smart, he'll agree to not take any more money from you and everything will be fine.
I'm sorry interrupting you. Did he take the heater too?
I don't know.
Even if he did, it doesn't matter at this point.
No, I know. That's why I'm asking.
At this point, it doesn't matter.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But just what I want you to do, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to have him put the radiators back in the house. Okay, so you tell him to do that? What I want you to do is I want you to have him put the radiators back in the house.
The covers.
Okay, good. He realizes he doesn't have to install them, right?
No, not install them.
I didn't say anything, that's all. I said just put them back in the house.
I just want to understand.
And, you tell him it's a major problem, whatever screaming match you had with him 2 seconds ago.
I didn't.
I mean, it's okay. It doesn't. I mean, I would have freaked out too. So don't get me wrong. But you need to put the radiators back in the house because you lose the option of using the radiators if he takes them away.
Correct.
So you put it back in the house, and maybe next week you talk to a heating and plumbing guy. You maybe talk to Rick, our guy that we use, right? And you say, listen, give me a quote to do this whole house up with vents and. And channels and
run ducts,
run ducts, exactly, run ducts, and put heating and air conditioning system. Look, with air conditioning and heating, with an air conditioner, the house will get more rent. It's always better when you advertise.
How much?
I'm going to say $100 a month.
$100 extra a month.
100 to 150.
You talk about central AC.
Central AC.
Okay,
yeah.
100 to 150 a month.
100 to 150 a month, because what happens is now you've got somebody who they look at the ads, and all the ads say, no air conditioning. And you come across this one, it says air conditioning,
that, right?
and it's $100 to $150 more a month, and you're going to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay, so the weird part about this thing is it might turn into something good, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Right? And getting back to the original topic, which is how I handle it, is like, okay, I now have to make a decision, and the decision is I don't need to make the decision today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're going to talk to Rick, you're going to find out what it's going to cost, and you're going to make decisions. Okay, maybe it's put the heaters back in, and you do, it's whatever, you got to do it. Maybe it's run the ducts, and put an air conditioning in it. You want to replace the heater anyway. I mean, the timing is really good for that screw up.
I know. I wanted to replace the heating. I wanted to keep the radiators, and I just want to replace the oil to a gas heater. That's it. Everything else was going to stay the same.
Right, I get it. But if you're replacing, that's the thing. If you're replacing the oil for the gas heater, to put an air conditioning system on that gas heater is not that much more. You got to put the compressor outside. You're probably looking at about $3,000 or $4,000 to turn. If you're putting a gas heater in, and you add the air conditioner, it's probably only about $3,000 or $4,000.
I tell you what.
There was no ductwork or anything.
I know.
So that's the problem. The ductwork, when you want AC in the house and you want to do central AC, if you want to do it right in a whole house, you need to make return in every room.
Right, but slow down. Don't forget, she now has all the walls done.
I get it.
This is down to the studs. It's a good time to do it.
I know.
So I'm telling you, I personally believe this is going to turn out to be a good thing. It stinks. It's a terrible thing that he just did he did it wrong. But I'm telling you, I believe it's going to turn into a good thing. I really do. I think you're actually going put the ducts in, or you can at least have an option to put the ducts in, and now you can have the air conditioner working, you can have heater working, and the people coming to see the house are going to rent it faster and
pay more.
and pay more.
Yeah.
So that's how, to answer your question, Omri, I go through the thoughts in my head. I'm like, okay, what are my options now?
Yeah.
I have a major screw up. Sometimes it's my fault. Sometimes it's a contractor's fault. Sometimes it's your fault.
How dare you?
Yeah, exactly. And I go through, okay, now I have options, okay? I have to solve the problem. I can't dwell on the problem because I can't go, I wish I could turn back time and tell Eric not to remove the radiators. You just can't do it. There's nothing you can do. So it's so much better. It's so much better to do it this way. It's just, okay, now I have options. I'll decide what those options are. I mean, there are times that, I'm trying to remember some of the things that happened that we did, even in the mobile home, where we made decisions, and I'm like, oh man, I wish we didn't make that decision, but now we already made it. Let's keep going.
Bobby.
Yeah, but that's different. The hiring that guy is what you're talking about. But like removing the tree that he removed, that $10,000 to remove that tree, and we didn't, and we still have the stump.
We had a lot. We had a lot of problems. I agree with him. Don't make decisions fast. I take decisions very slow because I keep calculating it in my mind because this is who I am.
Part is I make decisions fast.
Make decisions fast.
And I believe if you make decisions fast, you're better off. Because we've been going through this thing. Omri and I've been going through this thing for the last 2 or 3 weeks about buying the other side of the mobile home park. Yeah. And every day, Omri's got another thing that's making him crazy about it. And to me, it's not, because I made the decision to buy the park. The decision to buy the park is done. So
but that's different. With maintenance, you need to know you make the good decision because you want to make sure you do it once and for all. If I consider, for example, if you want to compare, if we consider all the dealing with the septic in the last 2 months, if 2 months ago we said we're doing a new septic, we're doing a new draining field, we wouldn't be where we are right now. The problem is we didn't know. We didn't have the information.
So
correct.
So actually, what happened was, and it's kind of interesting. It's a great scenario. It's not even close to your situation, but it's a great scenario. What he's talking about. We had a tenant who moved in, and her toilet didn't work. We couldn't figure out why her toilet didn't work, and it turned out that all the toilets and all the units were backing up. We didn't know it because nobody was telling us.
No, it's first of all, nobody complained, but nobody complained. You need to figure out this is a very big. I mean, it's a 12-unit park. So in this 12-unit park, beside the septic, there's also pipes, 6-inch pipes that go all around the park. The park. Before the toilet backs up, those pipes are full.
Right. So they have to fill up first. So then we have the septic pump, which you need to do every once in a while anyway, right? So we're pumping the septic, and then we're realizing that we're pumping the septic a lot.
And before that, I would just want to remind, this specific tenant did something that made us believe that there is no other problem, that she caused the problem. Right. What she basically did, she called a friend. And this friend, to give her a relief, I guess she can use the bathroom, cut the pipes underneath the mobile home. So all the pipe underneath the mobile home were disconnected. So we assume, okay, this is the problem. Now we understand. So we fix the pipes, we flush the system, and then we figure out the septic was full.
Yeah, it cost us $2,000 to repair her
line. Her line, yeah.
What we thought was her fault, but it wasn't. It turned out it wasn't her fault.
And then another $1,000 to fix the septic.
Right.
To reconnect the pipes.
So now
during that time, we had, believe it or not, 4 pumps of 2,500 gallons. 4 pumps. Each one of those pumps are over $800.
You know what? Hold on a second. We actually had a call. We have Mark in Philly. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I don't know if you ever heard of this. It's called a checklist. You go through every property is different, and you go through with the contractor. And you write down what you want done and what you don't want done.
Hey, Mark. I got a question for you, because I want to like either smack you or thank you. I'm not sure which.
You know?
Are you a real estate investor?
Yeah, I have some property, but I do a lot of work myself. But when unfortunate people see copper or brass, their eyes light up and they forget everything.
True, but that's not what happened here. That's not what happened
not
here.
what happened here.
Mark, I want to explain.
But just use a checklist from now on.
No, we are
fair enough. I agree.
We are being you in our properties. We are acting as general contractor when there is renovation in our properties. We don't bring one contractor who hired the subcontractors to do the demo and then the electrician and then that. We are basically the person in the front that hire all the subcontractors. And yes, you are correct. There is a risk of a subcontractor that doesn't communicate with the others.
But the real problem here is it was a miscommunication problem.
Correct.
I mean, it's clear based on the text messages, based on the fact that he's calling you. It's clear that it's a miscommunication problem.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you. And you're right. Maybe a checklist, maybe going through the contract is probably a good idea. I've never had anything like this happen. But look, in the end, you have choices now, Deb. And, you're going to make those choices.
You have time.
It's not going to be horrible. I mean, look, if you didn't remove the walls and you didn't remove the floors and you just went in there and took the radiators out, now your choices would be less and it would cost you a lot more money. I actually think in the end it might turn out good. And what Mark's to what Mark's saying is that these guys looked at the radiators and said I'm going to make a lot of money. He's right, but that's not why the guy cut him out. He was super excited that he got this job because he could cut those radiators out and maybe get $100 a piece for him on top of what you're paying him. And now he's losing that money. And my personal opinion is you don't pay him for the rest of the job because you say, look, this is going to cost me $5,000. Two choices: you could hire the plumber to put everything back, or I just don't pay you the rest, and we part as friends, and I will use you again. Because it's and if you say it like that, he probably will understand. And if he insists on getting paid, you absolutely don't pay him, and none of us use him again. Okay, so he if he's smart, he understands he made a big mistake, and he's really lucky that you're not suing him. Because frankly, you can't sue him anyway. I mean, we all know Eric. Eric probably lives job to job, and he's not a rich guy. And if you sue him, you might win, but what are you going to get? All you're going to get is, a contractor that's really good, no longer working for you. So we just have to make sure it doesn't happen again. So forget about that side. Now look at the choices that you have, and it's all good. And just getting back to the septic system, so you guys listen to the story. It turns out that we now need an entire septic system, but we knew when we bought the park we were going to need one.
Yes, one day.
Right. We just didn't think it was, it's like everything else. You think it's going to happen, and then it just happens.
The only reason I use the example is before we knew what needs to be done and how fast needs to be done, we spent, I believe, $6,000 to $7,000 in the last few months.
Yeah, right. Just to try to keep it working.
Just to understand where we are.
Yeah.
We didn't understand where we are, and then we had to make it work. So yes, sometimes it costs money, and sometimes it's a big problem. We need to avoid it as much as we can. Right. If we'll be on the site, of course, we can avoid it more. And that's part of when you buy properties that are far away.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And the other thing, Deb, you have something that all the students have too, which is access to us, right? So Omri and I will go there. We'll take a look at it. We'll help you make the decision. Yeah. I know. We'll help you make the decision, right? That's just like students have access to all three of us. Where they come up, where they have problems, and they say, listen, this contractor just messed up my day. What do I do? And then, now we talk to them. I mean, so my question, and I realize it's still a lousy thing, but do you feel better now after we talked it out?
I mean, I guess I have some options now, but I'm just frustrated because I know how much money I have to spend to fix up this place, and that just went up.
Right. It probably went up $5,000, but I also think in the end, the $5,000 that you're about to spend will make you more money monthly, and it will make you more money when you sell the place.
So you say that she should have spent that money anyway?
No. I'm saying now she's
probably forced to do
now
it.
She has to.
Yeah.
Because she has to put it back together. It's going to cost her $3,000 to $5,000.
Depend how much the ducts cost.
Or you might as well put the ducts in, and it's about the same price to put the ducts in and to put the heater. Air conditioner in.
Yeah.
So
the heater.
So you kind of like were forced to do a good thing, But you're right. It's going to cost you money. Was this him still texting you?
No, it's my daughter.
I just want to ask you something, because that's how I look at my real estate investment properties. You talked about